Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Money is called currency for a reason. Now, this is very important, and this is more on the philosophical side. And I've talked about this before, but I get moved one way or the other to do certain videos. So, currency. What's currency? It's an energy. It's not the money. Because if you think about money now, we don't just hand coins to each other usually. We don't hand coins to each other. If you take that dollar bill out, if you happen to have a dollar bill on you, you put it on the ground, it don't move. Indeed, unless you go into a flea market or something, a lot of times you might not even use it. Shoot, even when I've talked about there's an Amish market near me. Amish market, you know how they do. Some of the Amish, especially on the East Coast, they'll have the Amish market combined with the flea market. You shoot, the Amish, they know how they got card machines out and anything. Or if you think about cards, think about it. Think about it. You got something in the bank or a credit card or something. Those are just numbers. See, it's not so much the physicality. It's the idea. And even more so than the idea, it's the energy. You want to think about the energy of money. Like when you're talking about energy, when you're talking about someone having a poverty consciousness and an abundance consciousness. See, one thing I found with people who have a poverty consciousness, money doesn't flow to them. Money does not flow to them. They have an idea like they can't get that money. They're broke. They'll embrace being poor. I remember where I lived last time. There was a woman actually, and I would find out later she was on Section 8. That's part of the reason I needed to move from where I was. There were a lot of Section 8 people. She was actually embracing, being poor. Like, oh, it's cool and all of that. I was like, no, that's the wrong attitude. Some people have that attitude. But because of her attitude, money wouldn't flow to her. Now, take someone like me. I had an abundance consciousness. I was mad. I had more money than I knew what to do with. That's why I moved, because I said, shoot, I got a ton of money. Let me get out of here. But I had an abundance consciousness. And in fact, I talked about working 1,000 jobs. Now, I had worked a retail job until 2017, years ago, right? Now, I haven't worked for anybody else since, not for anything, not even a little job. But what did I do? What changed? Why was I able to leave that job and not work for anybody else? Because I realized you don't look at it as money. You look at it as currency, as energy. Like when you want to make money, you have to have a certain energy. Like when I'm thinking about what I want to make every month, I really literally just put it out there. It's like, oh, okay, this is what I need to make. I have everything written down. I need to make more this year in April than I made last year in April. And I just put it out there. And I don't think anything else about it, but then I'll get payments from somebody will get something. That's why I have like multiple income streams out there. And I just put it out there. I got videos, got books, everything. And, I haven't had to worry about making money because I'm thinking about the energy. My mind, see, you got to get your mind focused on what you want to make every month. That's very important. Very, very important. You got to have that abundance consciousness. Like there's plenty of money out there. Even now with all this talk of recession, there's still money out there. Now you have people with a poverty consciousness. They worried about it. They worried about the jobs. It's like, oh, it's going to be a recession or anything. Yet you have people who are focused on making money. Like the rich and everything, they not worried. In fact, the last great recession, I barely noticed money-wise. I was making more money. I was bringing in more money. I didn't notice. You know, I was able to start building up a savings and everything, you know? And you know, we didn't have any issues. And I was still married and everything. You know, my wife, she didn't work. But my mindset was there's money out there. There's still money out there. It's just a matter of bringing it in. Here's a analogy. Think about you living near a big river, right? That river is money. You have a house to the side. You want to bring some of that river in. What someone would do is start building a ditch from that river, or a few ditches from that river, to bring some of it in. It's kind of like the same thing with money. You want to think in terms of, okay, all this money is out here. What can I do to bring it in? Now, obvious way is a job, okay. But then lately I've been talking about a business, you know, income stream. Think about that word, stream. You bringing that money in. One thing I have multiple streams of income. Like just doing stuff on YouTube here. This isn't my mainstream. This isn't my mainstream. I got a few other streams, and I'm not even really kicking them in like I could. But then when I start doing that, okay, bringing in more money there, like putting different things out. One thing the rich will do, they will have multiple streams. It's very rare someone rich or wealthy will have just one stream. It's not impossible. They'll have like a serious stream where they bring in everything. But you got to think of it as currency. What are you doing? What service are you providing? What product are you putting out there? What job are you working on? You know? Or even some people, like a woman who was a second mother to me, may she rest in peace. She had maybe 2 streams of income, her regular job, but then her part-time job, where she was actually making so much money. She was buying property, she was buying stuff for her children and everything, because that's how she was thinking. See, you got to look at it not so much as the money, but the stream. Think about it. It's the energy of it. Because you're not getting a bunch of coins or cowrie shells or whatever. And you're not getting a whole bunch of dollars to sit on. If you think about when you get paid from your job and you have direct deposit, you're not getting all those dollars unless you're taking it out for something. But you usually not getting all those dollars. You getting like, they just putting a number in there. It's a computer number, how much it supposedly is. And the way they have banks set up and everything. If one branch closes, you just get your money from another one. See, that's something else, but it's a stream, it's an idea. It's a currency, it's energy. That's all money is. Once you understand that, it was like, okay, how can I tap into that energy? What kind of job am I getting to tap into the energy? What kind of business am I doing? What kind of products am I selling? What kind of services am I providing? Once you tap into the energy part of it, money will just flow. Money will just flow. And you have to have that attitude like, oh, let me tap into that. Like I said, the last recession, I didn't notice it. I really didn't notice it financially. I didn't notice. It was like during the time, I was hearing about all these people going through problems. I was like, And shoot, I didn't even know like a lot of money secrets back then that I know now. And I want y'all to think about that. It's currency. It's currency for a reason. All right? Always keep that in mind. So, anyway, that's all I have for now. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.